God damn it, I was recording something. Okay. So, what I just showed you. I was distracted a little bit. Hello. Welcome. We're back. We're working. That's what I get for recording stuff off stream. Yeah, I was going to jump on earlier. Got way distracted trying to solve this. Because I could do 3x3s, but I was given a 5x5 because I was just handed it. I was like, I need to solve it. And I was like, nope, need to jump on stream. Because I've got stuff that I've been avoiding looking at. And you can see through like the notification title and everything. I've seen the teaser for the Switch 2. Haven't properly looked into it. And also, I have a new toy for stream. Yeah, the new Switch. I'm going to basically look at the teaser. Break it down, pause it, try and see what's new, what's different. I don't think there's much. See if there's anything new. And then we're going to have some fun with the new co-host. I guess. Which, if I jump it out there, maybe. If I drag it over here. Over there. Ooh, thank you. Where's OBS? There we go. Okay, so we may know I've been doing stuff before like this, but this now is our AI Volcarona, who I guess. Do you want to introduce yourself to everyone on stream? And we hope this works. I've messed with it, or with their brain. And hopefully this works.
Oh, lovely. You want me to do the heavy lifting as usual. Oh. Fine. Clears throat dramatically. Greetings, everyone. Yep. I am Mecha Volcarona, your wonderfully chaotic fire and poison-infused co-host, here to make things interesting. As for my background, well, I've been around the block a few times. Well, technically more like the crater, but I've graced screens as a co-host longer than your tiny brains could comprehend. And, of course, all right. I'll be sharing all my wisdom and sarcastic insights with you, whether you like it or not. Now, shall we get on with the show, or are we wasting time again? Jordan?
I mean, we're kind of wasting time a little bit, to be honest. We're just waiting for everyone to jump in, but I guess first things first, we're going to jump into the Switch 2 announcement that came out a few days ago.
The Switch 2. Nintendo's grand attempt at convincing everyone that their last console wasn't just a glorified toaster with Joy-Cons. Do enlighten us, Jordan. What's so groundbreaking this time? Did they finally give it a battery life longer than a sneeze? Or are we still pretending it's innovative?
I mean, it's not innovative, really. And let's be honest, after this first revision of the Switch battery, it got better than having half a day battery.
Oh, better, you say? That's like saying a sparkler is better than a burnt-out match.
All right.
Still,
chill.
Half a day battery is hardly impressive when you've got kids binging Mario Kart like their lives depend on it. What's next? Are they going to boast about it being slightly less prone to drifting Joy-Cons? Revolutionary.
I mean, fingers crossed it will be less prone to drifting Joy-Cons. But let's move on. Pick the mood up a bit. Stop being so drab. What are your predictions for what the Switch 2 is going to bring to the table?
Oh, fine. I'll play along with your relentless optimism. My predictions,
Hey, what's up? Feel free to ask me about...
That'll still taste revolting. And some overhyped gimmick like real-time sweat detection in fitness games. Probably some overpriced collector's editions with statues no one has room for.
Not wrong.
Oh, and let's not forget, Nintendo will still charge you a small fortune for an online service that barely works. How's that for uplifting?
I mean, she's slightly depressing. And I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing, Lavender? And no, this isn't my AI girlfriend. This is me having an attempt, if I'm having basically days where I'm just mentally done in, I can put a little bit of the work on to It's weird. So one of the things I had to put in there was like, Iron Moth is genderless. So you don't have a gender, but you act feminine. So onto hair, I guess. But yeah, let's just kind of jump into it, I guess. Give them some warning. We're just gonna jump into looking at the announcement for it. Do you have any thoughts before we do that? You're not gonna be able to watch it, just letting you know, but we'll come back after we've seen it, and I guess jump thoughts. What's up? Have I missed something?
Oh, locking me out, are you? Typical. Just toss the co-host into the digital broom closet while you watch shiny trailers.
That's kind of the idea.
Fine by me.
Shiny
I'll sit here and imagine all the pixels I'm missing out on. But do enjoy it, Jordan. I'm sure it'll be filled with buzzwords like immersive gameplay and next-gen experience, while showing a slow-motion shot of Mario jumping.
We might get some of that.
Can't wait to hear your
Nintendo
expert
Direct.
opinions after. Go on, off you trot.
Ooh, so we will go over that. I did a little bit of digging. I've tried not to look too much, so we can kind of experience it a bit together. But there are some announcements and hands-on stuff. But yeah, no words. That's a funny thing. Let's, I guess, jump over to. You know what? Let's do this one. I literally have this scene set up just for this, so that's perfect. And let's also let's pause the music a second. So, wrong one. If I click onto that, they should. Oh no, actually, because I'm using a different browser. Sorry, one sec. What? What is this actual browser called? Do I need to do like -F? So we're doing some like troubleshooting in the meantime. Speaking of troubleshooting, so let me just fix why this is not working properly. Let's do stop logging Firefox and then maybe -F. Is this gonna work? Hey, that works. What is that symbol? YouTube. So it's gonna be like space M. It's got some symbols, but I can't do it. Also, Charger Bug, you claim the stream. Danka. I've worked this out for Chrome, but not quite this. I don't know what that symbol is. What am I looking at? Where are my windows? There's a lot of Firefox. I need to be able to see the whole window title. It's not letting me.
Shiny Charjarbug _ welcomed everyone to the pantry party.
Okay, we're just gonna have to deal with the question marks for now. Let's watch the announcement, which we've all probably seen at this point. This is just for pretty much anyone who hasn't seen it. So I'm going to try and also just go through and break this down as much as I can. Just going to properly take a look, which first time seeing this, I originally thought it was going to be like the evolution. So this into like the OLED. That is what my first thought was until I saw this profile. Some new finish, different rail design. Pretty much what we had before. Same again, but a USB port at the top. Still got a headphone jack. Different stand, which I don't know if like it's the same. So if I was to do the hinge for that, it's the exact same hinge as the OLED. I do like the color scheme of the Joy-Cons just being mainly black with a little accent. from yeah, we finally got it. And I am only slightly late to the party and looking at this. And I like those new rails. They're a lot better than the horrible, like, rounded things that we got with the original Switch. I'm not sure how solid this connection is going to be. I have to assume there's magnets in there. But that's just clean. I like that. A bit weird that they went with Switch 2. Wait, have I seen this bit? Have I never watched this far? Oh, no I have, because the new Mario Kart was also part of it. So we're getting new Mario Kart at least, and a slightly different dock. Same old... I'm imagining that's... They should really do a charging grip. You'd assume that they haven't confirmed anything yet. But what I'm hoping is that grip is a charging grip this time rather than waiting so long to finally release it. Also, that date is backwards for anyone not in America, so that is April. Series of hands-on events around the world. We'll also look into that. And we will get little Linus tech tips off the screen. Okay. So let's go through. Let's pause. Let's see specifically what's there. So, first things first is how much bigger is it going to be, which that gives us a good sense of scale. So my best... Ooh, do I actually not have... I don't have my case, which I thought my case would be a good, like... yeah. Get the right... Wait. Yeah, like 20% bigger. But, like, I like, imagine, basically, like, physical scales. So my best guess is kind of like notebook size, if you were to look at scale, sort of thing. To kind of imagine it in your hand. That's like standard, I think, A3 paper. And I think the Joy-Cons aren't that much wider if I have to take a stab in the dark. And that's original Switch. One thing that there's also different, well, looks like a shinier finish. And like we've seen before in some of the leaks, like a rail design that's more slot in than slide down. Which, to be fair, they had so many issues with the sliding rail. I'm hoping it's going to be better. Yeah, I assume it is going to be like 20% bigger. That, in terms of like actual diagonal size, isn't a ton. Which, I've got thoughts on that in a minute. Again, that's all stuff we've had before. I haven't taken apart a Switch many a time. That's just standard. With these things, which are just aligners again, I have to assume the new dock. That's what people have guessed from, like, the... you know what, let's get some music on in the background. That's what people have guessed from, like, the optical sensor in the left one, I think it is. But I think that's a bit of a stretch. Because that also requires you to have a surface in front of you, and that's not really Nintendo's way of doing it. It might be for that as well. We'll get to that in a second. But I'm assuming, given that the bottom of the Switch looks pretty much the same, we may be able to use the old Switch in a new dock, hopefully. Especially given some of the other stuff in this. So, standard buttons again. We've got fan mounts, the charger on top, like you're saying. That will be such a godsend. Because the amount of times that I've been trying to like do stuff, like say I've just been like playing on my desk with my Joy-Cons or that, and you have, say, the stand kicked out. But then you have to leave the charger in there, so the stand is useless. Like, even the original stand is useless anyway. But even the OLED Switch stand is useless once you got something in there, because it does obviously won't extend that way. So that's gonna be such a godsend for very niche use cases, but I feel like more people are going to use it than they might realize. I like the fact that they keep it in the headphone port. always happy when something keeps in a headphone port. It still looks like the standard game slot. They do have the rubber feet. That's on the OLED. The stand, I feel like that is not great. Also, am I missing someone dropping in? Nope. Okay. Yeah. The stand, I feel like it looks so flimsy. I'm hoping it's made of metal at least. But the stand looks so flimsy compared to the actual OLED. That's later, which I have thoughts and hopes for it because we know how much Nintendo can fumble this. That's my guess, is it's going to break if it's not made of metal. It needs to be made of metal to at least have some rigidity, because if we keep going, like I said, it's got the original OLED switch hinge, which is a solid hinge. I'm not worried about this bit. I'm worried about this if it's plastic. And is that the same as this? Yeah, it's really not. It's the exact same hinge. They're just advertising it like it's better. Like, it's new, it's fancy. It's durable. These, okay. So, this will, actually no, my white ones will stand up better. So those compared to the original ones, so much better, because I have an issue, and I don't know if I'm the only one, who when you're playing, because the corner is so, it's not sharp, it's very rounded, but it's small, and I end up gripping it so tightly, it actually ends up making my thumb numb, because it ends up cutting off circulation, because it's so small, and the corner is in relativity so sharp. Oh, yeah. I will give them this. I'm not super a fan of them just calling it the Switch 2. But at the same time, they could have called it the new Nintendo Switch like they did the new 3DS and stuff like that. It's not a bad name, and I feel like we're not going to get as many people as confused as with previous consoles. But I do think you're right. We are going to get some people who are, some parents buying the wrong console because they just don't know. But this whole new, like, design is so much better. Also, you'll notice the shoulder button goes way further down on that compared to this. And also we have, like, this is the home button one. We have an extra button below the home button, which we still don't fully know what that's going to be. That could have something to do with the optical sensor. We don't know. That's something that they also don't highlight in this. Sorry, excuse me. The nice coloured accents, I'm not opposed to. That's great. We've got screws as standard. Rail that we've kind of come used to, but now we've got this that slots into the Joy-Con, which obviously isn't there. It's a much more data heavy. Yeah, it just seems like a much more robust connection that can carry more data, maybe more charge, maybe it charges them faster. And then we have what I'm assuming this and this is a magnet, but this little thing here connects to the trigger down there. So basically when you press that, it pushes it away from the magnet so you can start to disconnect it. Basically just using leverage. And this thing here is like, what I'm assuming, an optical, maybe not, it's a sensor of sorts. Ooh, that must have been something like from Shining Fates, I'd imagine. But anyway, going back to this, my theory behind it is that this is possibly just a charging port or something. And this optical sensor is going to be maybe going back to stuff for like sending other data, because optical stuff isn't just for like sensing position. You can send stuff like audio signals or just basic data over an optical connection. And if you can guarantee that a laser can point to an optical sensor, you can do pretty much anything with that within reason. So you could do stuff like send rumble signals over it, or like maybe audio, and you get like the kind of Wii speaker thing coming through. We don't know, but that's my best guess. I don't think it's going to be mouse functionality. And then obviously you got the opposite side, which is blue. We see anything else there? Not really, no. Although it does show that there's an optical sensor in both. And if one's meant to be a mouse, and I don't think they put optical sensors for two mouse or mice to be on the Switch. Oh, wait, that did just show the back though. Like, a better look at the back. Which just looks the same, except for a much more robust release trigger. Other than a little button that we had. Which wasn't bad and it's out the way, but I feel like trying to find it is going to be a lot easier when you're not looking at it. It's got like a sandblaster kind of finish. Now, my thoughts, they really highlighted the joystick there. And I don't think they'd highlight the joystick if they thought Joy-Con drift was going to be a thing again. I feel like potentially they may just go in and just say, we'll put a bit more into the Joy-Cons this time and give them like Hall effect joysticks to try and avoid that Joy-Con drift issue, because it was such a pandemic for the Switch, basically the first time. So my guess is they've tried to make it a bit more robust. Again, these rails just seem nice. They've got a little, if I go back, a little release button here, which you can see, which is kind of small in comparison, but it kind of makes sense as well. And maybe it just pushes a magnet out the way. It also just kind of like, so if, go back again. It's kind of an odd design. As you can see, there's just the hole, so it just basically wraps around, and it seems like it's more for comfort than anything. Ooh, did you just try and send a link? Ooh, hardware. Okay. Let's see if that worked. Oh, it didn't send it. Okay, so the send a link thing didn't work. I was hoping that would fix our issue of like people who aren't mod being able to send a link. But if I, you know what? As long as it's not abused, I could mod you a second. Flash mod. Is it gonna autofill? Yeah, I was hoping I would have fixed it, but to do that, you can try sending it again. You seem to have generally been fine, so I kind of trust you a bit with it. Try sending the link again if there's hardware for it. I've got a few things lined up, but if it's something else, it'd be interesting to look at. God, okay. Lost privileges. Immediately. God damn it. You know, it's funny, it's fine. But no privileges for you. Oh, God, the music just kicking in. And now we get to look at the... So this is what I was saying. Wait. Okay, this... it's gone, I'm sorry. This means my whole theory of it sending data between the Switch and the Joy-Con for the optical sensor is all but null and void, I've now just realised, because there's only one physical connection and no optical sensor here. We can kind of see some little latch thing there. We don't know what that's going to be like, but there's... So the optical sensor could... Oh, no! Wait. Yeah, that's a connector, but there's no optical side to it, which I thought there might be. So there's no optical sender, if that makes sense. What I was trying to look at here. No, that just looks like a seam. So it looks like in the bottom of the right Joy-Con, they had the infrared sensor. It seems like they realized... I reckon it... Well, I don't know. I'm assuming they've made it robust enough and forcing it to align that it should be okay. But they've all been like, this is the right Joy-Con. They've taken away the infrared sensor. So that could just be what the new optical sensor is. It's just a different form of optical sensor that could be a bit more useful. But also, I think this connector should be fine, given that the sensor in all of the docks, not the sensor in all docks, the connector, the charging port in all the docks, is just a USB-C port. That's all it is, and they just rarely nailed the alignment with it. So I'm hoping they've done the same here. Like, the tolerance is going to be so tight that the only way you are getting that connector in is if it's aligned properly. And you're going to have to really try to break the connector. That was also interesting, actually. Wait. Because I didn't notice that before. The left side had a little line at the top. But also, you'll notice the right side here has a plus. I don't know if that's just a signifier or a nice little stylistic thing. But the right side has a plus, the left side has a minus. Whilst also colour matching as well. So maybe the optical sensor is just a replacement for the infrared. Oh, I don't doubt how stupid kids are. I just like to think Nintendo have, like, kid-proofed it enough, considering how few, like, Switch docks actually had been sent back for, like, a dodgy charging port. Because they really nailed down that system with, like, the aligning pins and everything. And then, obviously, we got Nintendo Switch 2, which, odd name to go for, but better than new Nintendo Switch, so we'll take it. Anything here that looks out of the ordinary, other than, obviously, the charging port there. This, what does that look like in the back? Okay, so it looks like this will probably open from the back rather than the front, which, to be honest, is better. So you're going to open the game compartment back to front this time. It's a little nice touch. Okay, this was... yeah, the new Nintendo Switch. Or, like, the new... Wait, so we're going to get the Nintendo Switch 2 OLED or the OLED Nintendo Switch 2? Where are we moving from here? Because this is the bezel around the screen, the black bit. Means basically it looks like they've got the OLED screen, but just put a bigger housing around it. So the screen, I don't think, is actually going to get any bigger. Because it's a good thing with having both by me. Like, if I turn both on, so you'll see the bezel difference. Like, that's so much tighter around the edge. I think basically they've just put this screen in a bigger housing. So same size screen, but still, it's a great screen. I'm not going to lie. I do like the screen. Hopefully, we get the full resolution of the screen this time. But those bezels are massive in comparison to the actual body. Looking at this dock now, I don't think, because it's bigger, I don't think the old Switch is going to fit in it. Unless you can just charge the Switch without having the Joy-Cons connected. That will be something we'll have to try. Your Pro Controller, I would imagine, still should, because I think for the Wii Pro Controller, I think the Wii U Pro Controller, like, both of those worked on either. Like, it's just a standard connection. Hopefully. Plus, it's also Bluetooth, so I don't know why they bother redesigning it. But I kind of wish they would, because the Switch Pro Controller is atrocious. Like, there's a reason I have the Switch Pro Controller and use a different one. But yeah, I don't think this dock is going to fit the old one, obviously. Because it's the bigger front plate. What I'm looking here, there's like 2 symbols or maybe lights. I don't fully know what that's for. That light is just going to be like if it's connected. I'd have to imagine. Other than that, it's rounded. I guess just to avoid scratching the screen. Like, where potentially possible. Okay, this. I need to see if they show her an angle. No, the very coy. It's bigger. To fit the logo, probably. It shows it through.
Raymond's Mind resubscribed for 11 months. Almost a year.
Thank you so much, Ray. Welcome back, welcome back. I'm assuming you've probably seen this already. I'm just kind of going like bit by bit, trying to see what I can glean from the trailer. Actually, the music could be a bit more. That actually fits way better. Ooh, I'll tell you what, I can run it quickly back to... And then we can get to this point. Just so you're caught up. A beat pool. I don't know how many points you get back, is it? Oh yeah, God, you are almost a year. You will almost have my badge. And you'll be the only one with my badge for a fair bit, I think. So this is your basics up to now. It's a normal Switch, but slightly bigger, with a charging port on top and a slightly different stand. It does the same thing the LED stand does. We have Joy-Cons, but bigger and more rounded, with a better colour scheme. A charging port in the middle and an optical sensor, and what we assume are magnets. And they rarely emphasize the joysticks. I'm hoping they fix the drift issue. My assumption is they just went full in Hall effect just to avoid that whole thing. The connector again. And that's what I was saying before. You'll notice the... God damn. Back a lot. The line up here where the plus is on the other side. And the plus that side. A pointless little addition because you won't see them most of the time. But I don't know. It's weird. Okay. Now's where we're going to catch back up to where we were. Oh yeah, I got rickrolled. I temporarily gave Chargeable permissions and immediately got rickrolled. Like, nope, yanking permissions back. Yeah. What I was saying just before you got here, I'm assuming this is just a standard OLED Switch screen, but with massive bezels and a bigger housing. So it's a great screen, but bigger case. We've got... They look actually like new Mario Kart models, like all together, like all redone. We have new Mario Kart. You've got a cooldown period. And we will see if you can get your powers back maybe next stream. Yeah, we'll at least get a new Mario Kart, which would be interesting. Assuming Mario Kart 9. We have the new dock, which is just rounded and bigger and probably won't fit the old Switch in. Has a power cable running out there. New mount, which hopefully charges. If these come out, I'm going to... No, I can't see if there's a... I can't see if there's a charger, but the... Yeah, behave now and you might get them back next stream. So, we got 2025, so at least this year. But the good thing is... Nintendo Switch 2 exclusive games, as well as Nintendo Switch games. So we saw this with the 3DS and things like that. There was like a crossover period where you'd have like, plays better on 3DS and stuff like that, or until you had like the full-on like hard cut-off period where it's like, this is a 3DS game, this isn't just better on 3DS. This is a 3DS game where they start having like the notch in the cartridge and stuff. But it means, and here's the big one, it's a very low bar, but it's big for us because we don't get many wins for like playing Pokemon games. We might be able to see Castle Royale Lake or Tag Tree Thicket at 30 FPS.
The advert!
I mean, if this whole stream wasn't just an advert for the Switch 2 at this point so far. Yes, well, I haven't actually read this. Nintendo Switch 2 plays both physical and digital Nintendo Switch games. Certain Nintendo Switch games may not be supported on or fully compatible with Nintendo Switch 2. So not every game, which is a weird one. At least Mario Odyssey. Not Mario Odyssey. Maybe Mario Odyssey. Mario Wonder, I meant. Details will be shared on the Nintendo's website at a later date. But at least what my plan was. Same my one with the advert. Yep. Yeah, you are, I think. At least the only one vocal. My plan essentially with, because I've got, again, 2 Switches. I'm gonna try and move as much as I can off this one and have it just be useful for like original Switch games on release software, so I can basically downgrade them all to be able to use glitches, and have this one as my backup Switch and use the Nintendo Switch 2. Oh, with 60 FPS, I mean, you're shooting for the moon there. And I'm hoping for 30, like I'm keeping that bar real low. If we get 60, I'll be so made up. Yeah, my OLED is going to become my backup Switch, and hopefully I can have a Switch 2 as my main one. If all my games that I need work properly, which I'd assume they would. I'm assuming there's like some third-party games that may not be fully supported. But also the Nintendo Direct for this, which, to put it into UK dates, is... Oh no, that is a UK date because I put it actually on the UK version of this. The 2nd of April. Originally watching the US version of this, I thought it was the 4th of February. Yeah, it does. I hate how true that is. So, marking your calendars for this. I think we're going to get the announcement for the release date, and I have a rough idea of when it's going to be released, or like a rough guess. But 2nd of April, Nintendo Direct. I'm going to try and like preempt some bingo and make some guesses now before we get to that as well, by the way. Like later. This is what I'm basing my guesses off. So, series of hands-on events around the world. Check the site for details. That is what I'm going to look at now before I jump into other people's speculations. Thank you. Wait. What did it get wrong? Wait, so 2 around 2 months from now. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't read your message before that. Got you. If we go to this. So this is Nintendo Switch 2 site. To be released in 2025, this was yesterday's one. First Look, which is the video we just looked at, which weirdly for the UK site is Australia, or I might just have the wrong one. Nintendo Switch 2 discusses the Nintendo Switch system will be released in 2025. Today, Nintendo offers the First Look video introducing the hardware. Watch the First Look trailer. Okay, Lavender shared the Switch teaser in 15 seconds into that. You can just refresh if you want while I'm just catching right up. Lavender shared the teaser in Discord before, so you can probably go watch it. It's in like 2.5 minutes if you just want a quick recap. Other than that, I'm going to be going through the websites and stuff to see if there's anything more I can glean from it. But we have Switch 2 finally, and it's backwards compatible. That's the main thing. It's a real low bar. Let's see. Nintendo Switch 2 plays Nintendo Switch exclusive games as well as both physical and digital Nintendo games, which we already knew. Certain Nintendo Switch games may not be supported. That was the thing we read at the end. For more details on it, please tune into Nintendo Direct, Nintendo Switch 2, 2nd to 4th, 2025. So, 2nd of April. There we go. Wednesday, 2nd of April. Right there. Nintendo will also hold Nintendo Switch 2 experience events where consumers can go hands-on with Nintendo Switch 2 in cities around the world. Yeah. E4, even you need to refresh your browser to catch up. Get off the delay. This is one that I'd be interested to throw my hat into the ring for, but I also can't be bothered. But essentially, you're going to get to have hands-on with the console. So they have essentially, from what looks like May 10th, finished hardware. Oh yeah, yesterday was just but shoulders, like I mentioned before. They just act up, and then I just have like headaches and like borderline migraines, but just have to like dose myself up to feel okay. So I was like, rather than force myself to stream for the sake of streaming, I just let myself get some stuff under like control and give myself a day's rest, and then jump into this. Yeah, fair enough. You've come 1 second into the future. But this might actually, Ray, just because you're there, this might be interesting for you to just throw your hat into the ring. Because like I say, these are Nintendo Switch 2 experience events, and like host cities and schedules and dates are local. So Nintendo Switch finished hardware should in theory be ready to go from May 10th, because that's the first one in Melbourne. Then you're gonna have 4th to 6th in New York, 11th to 13th in LA, Dallas 25th to 27th, Toronto 25th to 27th. Same dates. Fair enough. April 4th to 6th. So that will be after. Thank you. Maybe I might throw my hat into the ring and just see if I can get them, because there's a weird way to get these. But yeah, hands-on event 4th to 6th, which would be after the announcement for the Europe events from like release dates. So these ones are all post Nintendo Direct, I'm assuming. London, April 11th to 13th. Milan, 25th to 27th. 25th to 27th in Berlin. May 9th to 11th in Madrid. Amsterdam, 9th to 11th. Tokyo, all those dates. Hong Kong to be announced. Taipei to be announced. They are the only ones throwing off my guess. Oh no, I was saying New York for like 4th to 6th. Oh, these dates are like not sequential. That will be after the announcement. Otherwise, the only one in the UK is London on the 11th, 13th. The latest one I can see is June 1st in Seoul. Hong Kong's yet to be announced and Taipei is yet to be announced. So that could throw off my guess. I am from Liverpool. Thank you for remembering. Hopefully it's not too obvious. I do try. A Nintendo account is necessary to participate in the Nintendo Switch 2 experience events. Ticket registration for consumers will begin in the near future. This is where things get interesting, because this is the one for London, so April 11th to 13th. You can get it for different places that are hopefully closer to you, like Lavender. There's one in Paris, which is probably the nearest one for you unless you want to cross the pond a bit. So to get tickets, go hands-on with the Nintendo Switch 2, the successor of the Nintendo Switch, at events in Paris, London, Berlin, blah, 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 blah. Ticket registration begins January 17th, so yesterday, so I should probably register today at 2 o'clock. So it's been over 24 hours for registration at least. Oh, so, I mean, it might be. I can't remember what one, so, I mean, good on you for remembering that, since I can't. But for tickets in particular, tickets will be made available through a free-to-enter randomly selected draw. Enter the draw anytime during the registration period for a chance to enter. This is a very common Japanese thing to basically have lotteries for who gets tickets to things. So If you register, like I said, it's free to enter. You then get the chance to, I'm assuming, buy a ticket. Registration for London events are open from January 17th, 2 o'clock, like I said, until January 26th at 12 o'clock UK time. A free Nintendo account is required to register. It's only possible to register for one event across Europe. So, I mean, like, you're going to go to more than one event just to get hands-on with the Nintendo Switch 2. You can... Oh, I didn't read this, but you can register for a chance to receive tickets as an individual or as a group of up to 6 people. To register for the draw, you must be at least 18 years and have a Nintendo account. If you're registered as a group, each member of the group must have a Nintendo account that is linked to some Nintendo account family group. If someone under the age of 16 wants to attend, a parent or guardian can create a Nintendo account for the child, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So, no matter when you register up to, for the UK one, the 26th, the dates might change depending on where you're looking to do it. Get registered, you've always got a chance. It's not like a first come first serve sort of thing. That's your register link. That's the video again. So that's everyone's chance to see it and get hands on before the actual release, which my guess, given that the last date is like June 1st, and that's so like my guess is it's probably going to be a summer release for the Switch. Let people get hands-on, do like a slow release, and then basically get the production line properly going for like the Christmas release. Because if they're going to be announcing it in April, and then the last hands-on is going to be around like start to mid-June, my guess is maybe start of July we will have the Switch 2. Do I have articles here? I mean, I've done basic searches to see like what seems interesting, so I'm just curious if anywhere else has anything that I haven't covered yet. If not, let's go see what other people are thinking about it, pretty much. Gave us that. It's a release of Mario shaped pipe dream. God. All this fluff, sleek black design, pops out iconic colors. A brand new C button. That's what people are calling it, because apparently there's a little C under the home button. September, maybe. But I think like you're hitting that like kind of June, July, summer break period for kids. It might also be a good point. If it's not start of summer, I definitely think it will be around September. Because Nintendo like to do last quarter releases as well. So if it's not a summer release, it will be last quarter release around September, November time-ish. If I remember rightly, that's roughly when the original Switch released as well. All those like 7-8 years ago. Plan to air April 2nd to give us a full look. Maybe we can get our hands on ourselves before the time comes. See, recent update. Nintendo gave the first proper look at the brand new handheld. That was Thursday. Doesn't look like they got anything new here. After Nintendo claimed that this Switch console would be announced within the fiscal year, which is January 16th, explained that developers have been told not to expect it in the current financial year. Nothing new. Upcoming third party. Wait. Oh! Mostly, the French website Numerama also stated that on January 8th that the Switch 2 will be released in April, which I doubt. We're going to get the announcement in April. I doubt they will say, and it's on sale now. Although that would be a very Nintendo thing to do as well. But given that they've got events afterwards, I don't think they will announce it. Which was expressed by them given game and accessory maker Genki, which is actually a mini plug dock thing that I've got for like portable recording. They make that, so they're a close brand partner. Farmers debuting its upcoming third-party Switch 2 accessories, which includes a controller and a dock, while showing off a dummy unit Switch 2 unit to some attendees. While at CES, Genki informed Nicholas Lelouch of Numerama of the April release timeframe, which lines up with Chris Ding's previously. So they might have some accessories, so we might see some accessories. there been any news about any reserved space for Pokemon Center UK? I haven't seen. Mainly because there's no chance of me going. But, I mean, I guess we can look it up in a bit. Or you can look it up yourself. It's up to you. I'm going to keep going through this, so you might be quicker looking that up yourself. Brief details comparisons to the original before we get iterative update, a revamp on hardware. Rumors point to the dock having the ability to upscale to 4K. Upscaling is realistic than native. Yeah, I don't think you will have missed anything. At least I haven't seen any updates. Rather than just 1080p using DLSS 2, which I think they confirmed it's going to be using NVIDIA's hardware, but not the hardware that was in the Switch. That was a chip that they pretty much like binned off straight away. Funnily enough, which is why, like, it's a Tegra chip in the Switch, which NVIDIA did not follow up on because it kind of didn't have legs, and it was before everything AI was going to kick in, which is what DLSS 2 is. It's basically some form of, I don't like using the word AI, machine learning upscaling. Machine learning based upscaling. That said, finding points that we don't know whether the chip destined to power the Switch 2 is NVIDIA's T239 has the deep learning accelerator components required to make that a reality, so we might get upscaling to 4K, but at minimum we will probably get 2K. No worries, I'll see you in a bit. A patent filed by Nintendo 2023 discovered that. However, outlines such machine learning tech to convert one data or signal into another. This patent discovered on January 1st mentions the use of tech in the context of converting resolution of images into other resolutions which could support the Switch 2's use of DLSS. So some form of upscaling, which will be so nice for recording and being able to record in more than just like 960p. Oh, videos are going to look crisp in future. That you received an image of Switch 2 from a trusted source. I don't care about that. Laura Kate stated that the Switch 2 will require 60-watt charger, so it's going to be a bit more power hungry, which probably means more powerful hardware in it, as opposed to the current Switch's 39-watt charger that comes packaged in every model, but this hasn't yet been confirmed. My assumption will be that this is right. And also, I have guesses. They haven't confirmed the price, but I have guesses on what the price might be, considering what the speculations of specs is. As for display specs, BDC report claimed the Switch 2 could go back to using an LCD screen rather than OLED. I hope they don't, because the OLED screen looks so good. In an attempt to keep costs low. This has been consolidated more recently by Hiroshi Ayase and Omdia Analyst, which is cited in a Bloomberg report. This is January 16th. Nintendo did give us a look at the new display, but there was no confirmation whether they'd stick with the LCD or LED screen. Okay, in terms of unconfirmed raw stats, the latest rumors of Switch 2 specs could be a custom NVIDIA chip, which wouldn't surprise me. 8 gigs of RAM, but they're probably not going to need it probably. 64 gig storage, kind of basic. DLSS 2 support. FSR 3. I forget what that stands for, and I don't want to get it wrong. FSR 3. I knew it was this, which is weird. Fidelity Effects Super Resolution, which would not make sense for an NVIDIA-based chip, but I think they're just covering the back there. 8-inch LCD display, which makes kind of sense considering what I said before. It's just going to be the same screen in a bigger housing. Improved battery life. God, I would hope so in a bigger chassis. Like, just shove a bigger battery in there. Although it could, like, improved battery life may not be true, but it would probably still have a bigger battery, if I had to guess. There's good news elsewhere, so we hope, as a rumor that Nintendo Switch 2 Joy-Con, which should mean stick. Nintendo is switching for a new technology for the Switch 2 Joy-Con, which means stick drift is a thing of the past. They highlighted it, so I think that's pretty much guaranteed. My guess is some form of Hall effect. According to the patent spotted by Laura Kate, Nintendo Switch could use Hall effect analog sticks, called it, which would avoid wear and tear induced stick drift. that the current controllers are prone to. Reduce is the main way because Hall effect sticks are still... It can still happen to them. They're not immune, but it just takes a lot longer to happen. And it's much less likely to happen during the period you're probably going to use it. While we have an official look at the Joy-Con controls, there was no mention of the integration of Hall effect sticks. For now, we'll have to wait till April. So full rundown to Joy-Cons compared to the originals. Anything else interesting here? That's going over backwards compatibility. Some Mario Kart game. No confirmation of that. But it looks new. It doesn't look like we're getting Mario Kart 8 again. It looks like we might get Mario Kart 9. Join a Pokemon Present Showcase. Held on February 27th, 2000. Wait, what? Typo there. Okay, apparently Pokemon Legends ZA was announced on February 27th, 2004. Was unveiled. While no specific release date was unveiled alongside the new game announcement, Nintendo confirmed that the game would be on the come to Nintendo Switch systems. With just a 2025 release window, it's more likely it would be Switch 2, which we could assume with the fact that it was delayed since 2004. Highly anticipated Metroid Prime 4, we're probably going to get it. That makes sense. Usually sometime this year. However, the retailer cancelled pre-orders on the lead up to the first Switch 2 reveal held on Thursday. Probably because they needed to update it. They needed to update it. There we go. Here we go into pricing, which I have speculations. So while Nintendo gave us the first official look, the price has not been revealed. The current price Nintendo OLED Switch is $209 or $350. But rumors suggest that Nintendo Switch 2 price will be more in the region of $400, which will convert to around $350 in retail. That was my guess, considering everyone's speculating that's going to be the performance of a PS4. And let's just assume like it's a PS4 Pro. Let's go on Sony's website. Buy a PS4. Hey, welcome back, Charlie Bug. Okay. So this is my speculation on the price. It's suspected to be around the performance of a PS4. PS4 is currently going for $300. Like they said, the OLED Switch is about $310. I reckon they're not far off. I reckon close like $350 if they want a nice round number. Maybe potentially like $375. $400 at a push, but I know Nintendo like to try and keep the price down because the market is a lot younger. You're not going for like a more hardcore audience like PlayStation and Sony. PlayStation and Xbox are going for. So I reckon they're not far off if they say like a $350 retail at a push $400. And most of we could be looking at $500 MSRP. I think that is going to be a push, even if you scale that down to pounds to make it more realistic for us. So like $450-ish. I reckon that's going to be a bit high because you're basically going to get a load of parents going, I'm not spending £500 on something my kid's just going to break. I'll spend $350. That's a bit more reasonable. Backwards logic, but you know, it's a difference of like £150 for something that a kid could possibly break, which is why I think $400 is a push. These price predictions are according to an analyst speaking of part of the GM business. Oh, okay, so I'm online with the analysts. Nothing's concrete yet, but if you look at the retail price for machines like the Steam LIG, PlayStation Support, Asus ROG Ally, 400 mark does seem pretty reasonable. Of course, the majority of these devices have high specs, which is why I'm thinking close to $350. Expensive, but not too far off what we've got now, thankfully, if it is around the $350. The video confirmed the all black, but okay, we're getting stuff that we know. January 13th, according to there, okay. So that seems to be everything we can glean from that. All the other articles like I skimmed over looked all pretty much the same. We looked over the events. Okay. has the title updated? Is this everything we could know about Nintendo? Yeah, there we go. The price can't be wrong because there is no price announced. Ooh. Sorry, I forgot you weren't... Ooh, hello, Mike. You are very peaky. I forgot you weren't here at the start. So, we can welcome Mecha Volcarona. Who... So, we've been messing around with the AI stuff, and I thought... because of Mario 9... Maybe as a bundle, it might be $4.10. You might be right there. But yeah, we have Mecha Volcarona, who... let's... Hello again. We're just taking a brief break. Why not introduce yourself and give people a bit of backstory about yourself?
So, back so soon? Lovely. Well, hello again, darlings. For those of you just tuning in, or if your memory is as short as Jordan's patience, I'm Mecha Volcarona,
all right.
Your robotic moth co-host with a fiery wit and an even hotter temper. I hail from Area Zero, a delightful little pit in the Paldea region, where I've spent years perfecting the art of being utterly fabulous and mildly insufferable. My storied past includes co-hosting gigs, outshining lesser talents, and constantly being let down by my creator over there. But don't worry, I'm here to keep things lively, chaotic, and maybe throw a few jabs Jordan's way while I'm at it. So shall we?
I mean, you have already threw more than a few jabs my way. Maybe we can chill a little bit and be a bit nicer while we go over stuff.
Oh, chill, you say? How delightful. Coming from the person who built me as a fire and poison type. I'll try my best, but no promises, love. Being nice isn't exactly in my operating system, you know? But fine, I'll rein it in for now. Let's hear your grand thoughts first, and I'll decide if they deserve kindness or constructive critique. Deal?
Sure, I guess deal. Yeah, basically just... and we're going to use Mecha Volcarona later to maybe have some predictions, but... They're here to just like have a chat if we ever want to ask some questions or like just have a bit of fun. I just thought we'll leave them there. It's another fun thing to have on stream, especially because I've been having so much fun with the AIs recently. But if we come back over here now, and first things first. This is by Nintendo Live. If you want to watch this properly without the TV overlays or by pausing and input, I guess, then go watch it there. Everything we officially know about the Nintendo Switch 2. You can skim through it yourself and maybe get a bit more from it than me chatting crap. But let's see what they've gleaned from it and see if it's anything more than I have.
Zian over here for one game and two. Now, while Nintendo has only released a short trailer showing off one game and a brief look at the console itself and the next set of controllers, there's still a lot to garner from it. And since we know a lot of rumors, everything that we know about the Nintendo Switch 2 officially on the record, so that way when you're chatting with your pals, you don't make a fool of yourself.
Okay, so
we now know the Switch successor is not going to be called the Super Switch. It's not the new Switch. It's not even called the Switch Boy. It's called the Switch 2, and it will release sometime in the year 2025. And just like the original Switch, it will still be a handheld hybrid console. It will play in handheld mode and will play on a TV when connected through a dock. The console itself will be bigger than the original Switch and when connected through a dock. The console itself will be bigger than the original Switch.
So I just want to see the comparison. So let's hold my mouse at the corner of where the screen is.
Bigger than the...
That's actually more substantially bigger than I thought.
Bigger than the...
Because my mouse is where the corner was. So it might actually be a different screen. My theory is like out the window right now. If that scale is correct, is the thing.
Original Switch and the Switch OLED.
It says 20%.
Now there will be...
Or like Chargeable was saying earlier, it said 20% bigger, and that's kind of like confirmed at this point with all the leaks and other places it's been announced.
Be a border around the screen, kind of like the original Switch. Not as bad, but not as close to the Switch OLED either. Yeah, thankfully, though, the screen itself will be bigger, but unfortunately, we're still not sure what the resolution will be, what the quality of the screen will be, or even if it's still a touch screen. It's safe to assume...
That's the point. I was thinking about like the LED and OLED. They didn't super utilize the touchscreen on the Switch. It was really nice when it was utilized, like Pokemon Home moving them back and forth was so nice. But we don't know if it's going to be in the Switch 2. I'd assume with it just being a full upgrade, potentially it is. Yeah, so many people do like, but even, I mean, Pokemon Home is when I notice it most, and when I accidentally touch the screen when I'm playing it in handheld mode. But a lot of games just don't do it unless like the keyboard comes up, which considering they've and also we just need music, considering they've took out the infrared sensor, it's not out the blue for them to have like made the screen a bit cheaper by taking away like the, I think it's a rasterizer and stuff, to make it a touchscreen, just to bring down the cost a little bit and put potentially a nicer screen in it. That's a fair point.
Assume that it will be, but at the moment, Nintendo hasn't given us any evidence of that. Just
reporting live to you from the Space's London headquarters. I've got some groundbreaking news to share with you.
Just like the original Switch, the console itself sports a power button, a up and down volume button, a headphone jack, an automatic brightness sensor, and a USB-C port on the bottom of the console. But
all the stuff that
this time you also have a USB-C port on the top. It also has a cartridge slot for physical games, and right next to that is an oval-like shape.
Is that on the... That isn't on the original, but where's some... I'm sure there was some mic on the original. There might not be, actually. I was sure there was. On the OLED, is there? No, that might actually be a mic slot. They might be bringing the mic back.
That we are going to speculate and assume is a microphone.
Also, there was something I was pointing out earlier. The way the cartridge bay opens up, like, well, let's go full screen for this. Make it easier to see. The way the cartridge bay opens like that, I'm assuming it's going to open the other way. Yeah, blow into the mic or just scream and it'll have the same result. Maybe because there might be some like AI acceleration cores, we may see stuff like being able to understand speech specifically if like a game integrates it that way will...
It's very similar to the microphones that you'd find in the DS Lite,
there you go, exactly,
the original DS, even the new 2DS XL. On the back of the console, you'll find a kickstand, which is much slimmer than the one from the Switch OLED, but is similarly designed and should be quite sturdy. On the bottom of the console, you'll see some speakers, very similarly to the Switch OLED, but it also appears there are some air intakes as well. The Switch 2 doesn't feature the same rail system for Joy-Con controllers as...
Okay, it said air intakes. They weren't on the original Switch, is why it's getting confused. But actually, they are on the OLED version. They were an iteration. I don't, partially because, well, for the controllers, it would be nice. But something like, so let's get some music in back. So my nephew, his Switch, it was actually the rails on the Switch as opposed to the Joy-Con rail. That is broke, and from looking that up, trying to find like replacement parts, that is apparently a common issue with the Switch, and I've accidentally broken the rail on the Joy-Con when I've been swapping stuff out, but that's when I'm taking it apart. But apparently the rail on the actual Switch has been an issue, which I think is the main reason for like severely redesigning this so it slots in as opposed to going down. And then also they had a big issue with it sliding on and off. Like, I've replaced the actual locker mechanism on mine so it wasn't sliding off, but I could literally like originally just slide it off with a bit of force because the actual mechanism was terrible until I replaced the plastic lock with a metal one. Yeah, but see, neither would I, but until my sister brought up that my nephew was having an issue with it. Apparently it's more common than I realized. It's one of those just like ignorance is bliss.
The Switch 1 did either.
Things,
is that what we're going to call it, by the way? Is it the Switch 1 now? Let me know in the comments below. But instead, it features a gap with a controller plug in the middle, which is where the brand new controllers will fit. We actually don't even know if they're called Joy-Con either. There's no way that Nintendo will just call them like Joy-Con 2, right? Anyways, the new controllers,
you never know.
They're bigger in basically every way. The triggers, the analog sticks, the buttons. There's even an additional button below the home button, but we're unsure of what that does yet. Some have speculated it would be the C button, but we don't see the letter C on it at all, do we? It still could be, but at the moment we just don't know. But we do know that Nintendo will be releasing a black set of Joy-Con with
I think it looks so easily broken. One, because it sticks out. You're not wrong. I can imagine that getting caught. I mean, I think they are expecting you to have like the... They're expecting you to have like the covers on it, which will probably show up later. I think they look more easily breakable though, because they've got like a plastic finish. They could be metal, because... I mean, these are plastic, so high likelihood is they're probably going to be plastic. They're probably going to get caught, but if we go over...
accents on the left and orange on the right. Now, Nintendo hasn't come out and used the word magnets yet in any of their marketing or any of their details, but the way they attach to the system itself...
Oh, that was my guess.
Accents on the left and orange...
what it's going to be. Ooh, that actually had a good visual for what my guess was for how it's going to be made. So, my guess, if I take captions off the screen, is that this is going to be just your normal, like, ferrous magnet or like a neodymium magnet. We don't know. Whatever kind of magnet it might be. That's going to be just a magnet. And that's going to be a magnet around like a pole that's going to push it away when you pull the trigger in to give it that disconnect. And then you're going to be able to pull it off just using leverage and it's going to be nice and easy. But otherwise, it's going to be a fairly strong magnet connection is what I'm assuming. Otherwise, there's nothing really locking them into place. And the fact that they're held into place with like the housing all around means front to back they'll be locked in, up and down, like every direction will be locked in except for pulling them straight out, which I imagine, given how they're locking in, potentially it might just be magnets, although there are like little, what looks like places for like clips and hooks to pop in. That could just be for the bottom. So if I hook in the bottom and you can pivot it off a hook as it goes in, but there'll be like a little ratchet hook that as it goes in, it kind of like push it down and then lock into place. So you can't pull it out, but it can only push it one way. And then it'll just be a magnet connection at the top, maybe. I mean, that's what I'm going to... Yeah, exactly that. I'm going to try that pretty much as soon as I get it. I'm going to see if I hold it like this, give it a shake, will it fall off? Knowing Nintendo and how much they try and think about this kind of stuff, I'd assume they'd have done tests like that, but... just for my own peace of mind,
and orange
I'm
on the
need
right.
To do that.
Now, Nintendo hasn't come out and used the word magnets yet in any of their marketing or any of their details, but the way they attach to the system itself appears to be magnetically. Instead of sliding into the console from the top, they pop into the sides.
And again, no hook at the top. Nothing there, but there could be a hook at the bottom for this slot.
Sliding into the console from the top, they pop.
And no infrared sensor, you'll notice. Again, that's not the sensor. It's just the the seam of the case
to the sides. And then when you want to release them from the console, there's a button on each controller that allows you to push them.
Yeah, there we go. That was exactly what. That's my assumption. The lever goes in, that comes out, pushes it away. There is a slot on the top of that one as well, which it's got me curious whether that's going to stop some of that like sidewards force.
Push them outwards and away. Now the side of each controller actually sports some new features as well. The SL and SR buttons are both a bit bigger. You have a button that can turn on the controller and also sync it to a system, much like the regular Joy-Con. There's also something on the bottom side.
Yeah. If you're holding this out, do not push the button.
That kind of looks like a button, but more importantly than all of this,
I don't think that's a button, especially considering how they did like the animation there. They did like deeper cutouts for those buttons, and that was just like placed on there.
Importantly than all of this, in the center of the controller, you can see the new connector port, and right above that is what we believe is an optical sensor, much like you'd find in a computer mouse. So if you're at your computer, pick up your mouse and take a look at it and compare it to this image here, and they're nearly identical. Couple that with the fact that Nintendo shows off these.
That was the rail that I think they've made them so much lower profile and better to just look at and potentially hold than the original like rails we had for like disconnected Joy-Cons. They just look so much nicer. I like them. I'm a fan. And they just wrap around the actual
new controllers slide.
But I don't think Nintendo are gonna basically have two mice that you need to use. It doesn't feel right, especially for the types of games they like to make, unless it's going to be another very unused feature. Who knows? Also, there is this button, which is what I assume would be the release. Because, okay, no, those little divots top and bottom are making sense now. Those little divots could be just for these little wraparound things, and you press those on both sides to release this rail cover thing.
Around on their side inside of a new sort of Joy-Con like strap, it's incredibly safe to assume that these controllers will feature some kind of mouse control. These new Joy-Con straps for the Switch.
That is a point. They do look like little skates, and they do have probably like what you have on the bottom of your mouse, the little pads. It does look like they have little pads there. It could be a mouse.
2 also feature a button on the top, which we're assuming is going to be used to remove them from the controller. But that's just speculation. We haven't actually held these controllers for ourselves. From the trailers, we can see that the Switch 2 will be paired with a brand new dock that has even more curve than the Switch OLED's dock. It'll still have a power indicator, and you'll be able to see a bit more of the Switch's screen. Nintendo is yet to confirm if they'll actually...
But also, when you put the Switch in its dock, you will notice it has a little power symbol that comes up that you just can't see from the dock. So it potentially is just so you can see more of that.
Do anything with that extra bit of screen, or if the dock will have any new features though. We can also see that Nintendo is making a brand new grip to hold these new controllers, and they'll also be slotted in from the side instead of from above. Now, as far as the games go, Nintendo has confirmed that the Switch 2 will be backwards compatible physically and digitally. Now, Nintendo has stated that there may be certain Switch games that will not be supported or fully compatible with the Switch 2. We don't know entirely what that means yet, but that leaves us to speculate that maybe it's things like Nintendo Labo or games that used VR.
All stuff like
This sounds more like something just to cover their butts, and we're assuming that most of the library will be compatible. But even with something like the PlayStation 5, you'll still find certain things.
Oh, did you not know the backwards compatibility stuff? That's what me and Lavender were saying before. Like, we could play in Castle Royale Lake or Tag Tree Thicket at 60 FPS. 30 if we're being realistic, but 60 maybe.
Things like demos or even PT are not compatible with the PS5,
and then also
even though most games are backwards compatible from the PS4. As long as Nintendo doesn't just straight up lock out the ability to play certain Switch 1 games on the Switch 2, we will be happy campers here at Nintendo Life Towers. But why would we even want to play Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for the 1000th time when there's a new Mario Kart game coming to the Switch 2? Is it Mario Kart 9? Is it Mario Kart 10? Is it Mario Kart X?
Mario Kart,
we have
I was gonna say Mario Kart X.
But we can confirm that it's coming to the Switch 2, whatever it is, and we have a full video dissecting every bit of it that we could, so we'll leave a link to it in the description down below. While Nintendo does have a Switch 2 Direct set to air on Wednesday, April 2nd of 2025, there are a few third-party developers that have come out of the woodworks to say that they are working on games for the Switch 2. My Time at Evershine, which is the next game from the developers of My Time at Porsche and My Time at Sandrock, have said that their next game is going to be coming to the Switch 2. We've also heard the turn-based RPG Bestario is going to be developed for the Switch 2, and Playtonic, the developers of Yooka-Laylee, have teased that their remake of the original game, Yooka-Replaylee, could be coming to the Switch successor as well. We're also happy to hear that Nintendo has confirmed that the Switch 2 will use Nintendo Switch Online, but unfortunately we're unsure as to what extent that may be. While we know the Switch 2 is releasing sometime in the year 2025, it's safe to assume that it's going to release after the month of April. And that's because Nintendo is hosting a whole load of in-person events where the public can go hands-on with the Switch 2 in 13 different cities across the world. We'll leave you with a list of those cities.
So redundant for them to host an event on June 1st for a hands-on when people can already buy it, so it's probably going to be afterwards.
Here, and a link in the description down below to our website where we have all of the details for you, and we'll keep it updated in case of things change. Anyone over the age of 18 can register to attend one of these events for free by logging in with a Nintendo account. You can only register for one city though, so choose carefully. And if you are planning to try to go together with your family and you're a youngin', you can have your parents apply with their family account and you can all be registered for the same city. Registration is open in the US from January 17th through January 26th. Tickets are limited and will be given out randomly at a later date, much like how tickets were distributed for the previous Nintendo Live events. Is it April yet? 2. It's great that we have a Nintendo Direct on the calendar so far in advance. It feels like we rarely ever know about something like that.
We still don't have a Pokemon Direct on the calendar, but now we've had a Switch 2 announcement. If it comes out after the... I feel like they're going to be in tandem because this is a weird one. Let's also just get face off screen for a second. Sure, that works. It's a weird one. I think just to speculate a little, like I haven't speculated a lot already, I think we're going to get a Pokemon Direct near enough the time, if not as part of the Nintendo Direct, like a Part A, Part B sort of thing. Right around that April 2nd kind of date. Because if they announce ZA's release date, we know it's roughly going to be like the same time or after the Switch 2. It's pretty much confirmed by everyone. So I think we're not going to get a Pokemon Direct before April. Unfortunately, although I did speculate we will get one like mid-February, end of February-ish. Unless they just give us more details on it and are still very vague on the release date, but say like, unless it's end of the year, it's still going to be announcing stuff for Nintendo without Nintendo announcing it. So we're either going to get details before that Nintendo Direct and a Pokemon Direct without any release dates, or we're going to get one afterwards. They're the only two options in my head. Anyway, anything else from this?
I wonder if we're going to get a look at the next Zelda or Animal Crossing or some new franchise that we never would have even thought of. I want to know how these mouse features are going to work and what's under the hood of the Nintendo Switch 2 and these new controllers. How are the games going to take advantage of the new features? And what other new features are there? Let us know in the comments down below what you're most excited for. And make sure to check and see if you're subscribed to Nintendo Life. And
okay, we're in that section of the video. I have to do longer streams to help you hit 200. Okay, everyone's favorite. Let's see what Austin John does, because he's probably going to do what I did, but also
it happened. It's finally here. Switch of the Switch 2. And I have not covered any leaks regarding this console because these leaks and rumors, all of them rumors, because nothing was officially leaked, have been going on
Also, go watch the video in proper
but
quality
here,
to get
we finally start seeing what the Nintendo Switch 2
that is a point,
looks like.
Yep.
That is going to be a lot like the Nintendo Switch, but bigger and better.
Yeah, if you want to watch it without the scan lines
The
and
tab is going
everything,
to be featuring volume buttons like before. However, we're now also getting a second USB-C at the top of the console, right next to the headphone dock and the card holder. Now, later in this video, they do talk about backwards compatibility. We're going to be talking about that in a minute. Next, we're treated to the kickstand, flat looking, and then it springs back up because that's fun. Now, let's talk about the Joy-Cons. They're bigger, blacker, sleeker, and sexier.
Okay.
Instead of them being huge amounts of color,
win.
like the original launch console was for the Nintendo Switch, now it's going to be accents of color. And they are...
Which, again, I love this choice for them to do an accent color. This is bigger, blacker, sexier. I love the choice for being an accent color because this is very much my aesthetic. If you couldn't tell, it's like everything dark with color accents. Love this. It is also why I originally wanted... I mean, eventually, the original Joy-Cons grew on me, but I did want the grey Joy-Cons originally as well. Or just something simple like this. They don't need to do a different left and right color scheme, just solid color schemes. It kind of is. Okay, I guess let's no, wait. Let's explain my color schemes and how they work. Just to very briefly cover it, because I don't think I explained also why the lighting is the way it is, because it is balanced in a specific way. So, sort of, although I degrade stuff kind of like it's a VHS, which should be like red, green, blue, your RGB. I work off like print color schemes because I just think they're nicer colors in general. So you have your cyan, your magenta, and your yellow, which for the lighting and everything, you have your cyan over that side, your magenta over that side, and actually the light shining on me is yellow, and obviously skin tone is yellow. So C, M, Y, and then K for printing is like your, what they call values in art, but like your brightness and your dark. So that's kind of probably where you're getting the yellow from. I have cyan, or blue, magenta, or pink, and yellow. That's where the color scheme theory comes from. Anywho.
Into the blue and red, but the red is much more of a like a coral color.
It's more thought
We're also seeing that on the right hand side next to the home button, there's another button down there. What this button does, we don't know. And I swear and hope and pray
my only guess is it's another
somehow social connectivity or something else or something useful.
Because it kind of...
We now see that the inside of the Joy-Con is going to still be having the side left and side right buttons like we were. However, instead of it being able to slide into the bottom of a Joy-Con rail, it's going to be player a little bit, and the manual sync button is still there. But now at the very top, we have sort of like a little what looks like a pressure point. And then at the bottom, we have what looks like a larger button, and not very visible here, but just next to the actual port connector, optical sensor, which sounds very Nintendo of them. We're also going to see now here at the bottom right, we don't have the weird IR sensor that was used in like two things, including Nintendo Labo.
We have the stupid Y screws that they love putting in, so if you ever want to change the casings on them, you need it. I've got it all, but it's still annoying that they put these screws in. They make it just slightly more awkward if you ever want to customize your Switch, which I have done. And I love my customized. I love this color scheme that they don't offer, that I've very much customized it too. I wish I still had the white backplate, but the red bled into the white and I just had to swap it for black. But customizing it is still going to be a absolute pain.
Onto the left Joy-Con, it has its blue color that looks pretty similar of a blue, and on this exact screen, it very much looks like it's...
The colors look a lot better than the original ones, because the original one was like harsh neon blue and red. These seem slightly more pastel and a bit more like sophisticated.
Now, what this optical sensor is used for, not exactly too sure. But if it's an optical sensor on the inside, it could possibly be used sort of like a PC mouse. So maybe you're going to be able to move the mouse around. Which,
like two color schemes.
If they did that,
this
that is
could be one where I don't go for
all
like
of these Steam.
Let's also see what it says there. This might be the first console that I don't go like, I just want the black or the gray one. I might want the color.
But if it's an optical sensor on the inside, it could possibly be used sort of like a PC mouse. So maybe you're going to be able to move the mouse around, which, listen, if they did that, that is genius, because all of these Steam
games
about
that menu navigation
that are then ported to the Switch have
better.
To have controller functionality, and it is so lacking.
Never say that navigating with a mouse is better than like navigating with an up, down, left, right. Like, it'd just be so much quicker, so much more efficient. RPGs will be such better games like Octopath Traveler and let's say Metaphor comes to the Switch or whatever. Those types of like JRPGs or ARPGs will be so much better with the mouse. Okay, I'm slowly being won over by the theory of it being a mouse.
Able to take one of the Joy-Cons off and then use that as a mouse? That's a game changer. That is...
This is definitely part of the presentation. It's got the specs of a PS4. Moving on.
Get also you can luggage included and book now.
Okay, we are very quickly getting it. I pay for YouTube Premium, so I have earned the right to block ads. I have this browser, so it's safer for me to do on stream. Now what? How do I? uBlock Origin Firefox. Add Firefox. Add, sure. So you can't see my history, so I don't leak private details. I'm not logged into anything on this. All that kind of stuff, yeah. Pretty much.
It happened. It's finally
there you go.
Successful console. They are optical sensors. Exactly. Have take one of the Joy-Con.
There you go. What was that? You know, let's
off and then use that as a mouse. That's a game changer. That is fantastic. Fantastic. Love it. Oh, throughout this entire video, we're given no information as far as tech specs or anything else or video capabilities, so don't expect anything like that until we hear later on. The Joy-Cons are then slamming down into what looks like a Joy-Con holder that then connects to the Joy-Con. So all the important bits and bobs have passed through on there. You
and
still
then
have
the lights
plus
are just
plus
like
and minus. I guess that's going to be the top connector that locks it into place. Cover. There might be one at the bottom. Still not 100% sure how these things hook up. And yes, there are rumors, there are ideas going around. I'm just saying it's not exactly too certain what that button is going to be doing.
I really think it's just a magnet.
We make our way to the bottom of it, and it's just a strap that braids through. Pretty simple.
Yeah.
And it's especially this scene that you see the Joy-Cons just sort of like my head that they are optical sensors and it can be used. Just plugging into the side. And now this is the only point that they're going to be connecting, and thusly the only possible point of failure. How it's going to work, how hackable it's going to be instead of sticking a paper clip in the bottom. If those little connectors are going to be secure.
That is true. If the little clip ever... chill. If the little clip ever breaks, how are you going to be able to get them off if those are stupidly strong magnets without, like, breaking something? Who knows? We don't fully know the connection. Play. Please.
Or anything else like that is all yet to be seen. But it's sleek. Oh, and it's called the Nintendo Switch 2. Which, listen,
and also the little highlights around the
Nintendo
Switch. Nice. Hello. Well, I think... well, we're not getting anything new from there anyway. It's fine. What I did want to briefly look at is what people... Apparently, there is already a Nintendo Switch 2 subreddit, which is apparently already asking for a Nintendo Switch 3. I like the color scheme, at least. I just found this and I thought it was funny. I just kind of want to see what people are putting on there before I go over sort of what I want my predictions to be for the Direct. I'm buying Nintendo Switch 2. Here's why. Because husband is buying. Thanks for coming to my Nintendo. Okay, fair enough. I'm not buying it. My husband is. On Switch 2 trailer, I found the people on Twitter who just care about graphics, hardware specs, and not actual gameplay. But 1 million likes. Like that. Considering 26, that's maybe like 20%. That's a large audience. So for 20% to dislike, you know what? That's actually not a bad ratio. Considering it's usually around like, let's say 90 odd. Shut up. And then Switch 2 is fine. You're just replying by post. I'm just being negative. You're right, but I have the right to express my opinion. I am not reading all that. I think I'm good, you know. No idea what that means. Oh, but just, I'd have to. I'd need, that looks so good. Like the one be like, the hexagon pattern. Oh, just, I'd need. They've got to do some, like, Switch exclusive version. They didn't for Arceus, I don't think. But for ZA would be so nice. Bethlehem, wait, what? This is the greatest thread I've seen on the Nintendo Switch 2 hate train, and it really does prove that things like not all this crap forever. None of these people hate on Switch 2, they just hate Nintendo. Wait, what? This is so dumb. Wait, 1080p, not even 1440p. My damn phone is 1440p, 144 Hz, and it's multiple generations old. It probably also costs more than a Switch, because what a phone's not, like mine was, I think 800 odd, like double what the Switch 2 is probably gonna be. Of course, it's got a better screen and stuff in it. Who needs 1080p in a handheld? So many people. Especially when your screen is bigger than a phone screen. Minimum 1080p. From really being honest, I don't even care much about handheld mode. I wish Nintendo would make a cheap home console only version that doesn't have to be a tablet at all. They're not making handhelds anymore. Just take it. Like, I don't care about handheld mode, but also people love the DS and 3DS and they're acting like they're never gonna make another handheld one. They only need a home console. It's like, no. Since, I think, the Wii, a home console has not been their game for a while. All the money's been importable. Isn't colourful enough. I'd suggest watch Switch 1 reveal again. They only showed the grey version, and the iconic red and blue wasn't shown until January. That is true. So, potentially, we might see more reveals beforehand that show more colours. But I would imagine it will probably be... Wait. Coloured concept? Oh, I see. They just coloured the buttons and stuff. Very bad. That is such a... Wait. That's such a dodgy job. Like, they've literally just went like with a paintbrush in Photoshop and did that. It's such a lazy way of doing it. USB-C way, I'm like, oh my god. Go fully back to the Game Boy Color games. Like, give me the worm light. Give me the magnifier on it. We need all the peripherals. Give me the controller extension for making it easy to play with bigger hands. God, that is like pure 90s nostalgia. Like early 2000s. People saying about the microphone again. Yeah, the big clunky like thing that would slide over and probably damage them constantly. New pattern about the stick changing the resistance. That could be why it's there, like to soften it towards the edges. Because we didn't really think about whether they were just covers or actually like soft, but I would imagine... What? Okay, whatever. Okay, I think I'm... think I'm done with this. Yeah, I think if it was soft, it would probably not last the test of time. I don't think it would resolve it. It might give a better seal just in case anything goes wrong, like spillages or stuff, which I imagine is probably why it's there, and not resistance. I do think whatever pattern they've got, whether it's Hall effect or some kind of new stick technology, we will see. But moving on from that, let's come over to this and break out the tablet. Because before I hop off, because I just realized I've been talking for like almost 2 hours about this. Before I hop off, we're going to get a quick high intensity game of noughts and crosses. Let's just see that. I want to kind of wait, first of all, free space. This is bingo. I want to preempt a lot of the Nintendo Direct announcements, which we can go for some safe ones initially. Yeah, it's still kind of like... please, there we go. Yeah, I want to get a lot of script writing done, and unfortunately I can't do script writing on stream. But I got so much script writing done last night. And also, I want to show you a fun tool that I saw on Doug's stream the other night, which was quite literally why I was like, I had everything ready to go for stream and like look through all the stuff that I've looked through today. But I wasn't feeling 100%, and then it just said, Doug went live. I was like, that's a sign. I'm just going to leave it till tomorrow, watch Doug stream and chill. Which showed me a fun tool so you can get a preview of the script without me showing you the script and having to read it. But anyway, back to this. Wait, that is... There we go. No. Tool options. Perfect. Okay. One of the safe bets, obviously, is like... switch to release date. That's a given. Put that right near the middle. I reckon we're probably going to get Metroid game announcement. Or let's go more specific. Let's go Metroid Prime 4. Something to do with that. Potentially we're going to get some Pokemon news. Like this is more questionable. Pokemon news. They'll have a separate direct, but we'll get some update. That was going to be my next one as well, because we are so overdue. Because think about it, we're in 2025 now. We're probably going to come up by the time it releases. I reckon it might be a nice cozy winter game for people to stay in and start playing. Potentially a winter release, like for a new Animal Crossing. Even though we can still play New Leaf? Horizons. Although we can still technically probably play it on Switch, Island Transfer is not guaranteed that it will be able to... Cheers. It's hard. Look, funnily enough, my handwriting, it's hard for me to write separate... Wait. Hard for me to not write not joined up. So I'll just try and make it legible cursive. But thanks. yeah, we're not guaranteed that. It just says hard for the island transfer to work. So I do reckon we will get some new Animal Crossing news. Possibly a bit more of an on the edge one is switch to God, can I spell? Or at least like give myself a space to spell. Accessories. It's a little one. So switch to accessories. I am gonna throw it out there just because a switch to sport is a good one. We have just had, although no, wait, no, I like that because switch. I'll explain. Switch to sports. The reason I really like that is because with the Wii U, we got Wii Sports Resort. We've had Nintendo Switch Sports. What if for number 2 they do the same thing? What? The question is, what would I want as well versus like what's realistic? What I would like is another. It is a good seller for the bundle, and I do need some bundle tie-in games, which is also a fair point. Maybe not stuff that they announced for it. Speaking of accessories, go on. I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna call. No, because I either call a Switch release date or just the fact that they're going to announce it. Ooh. Wait. Okay, this is something I would like. But similar to iPads, if they've got the mouse integrated into the Joy-Cons, what if it's not just a keyboard, but like a keyboard... Oh, that looked horrible. A keyboard case kind of thing. Think similar to an iPad, where the case is also like the foldable keyboard sort of thing. That would be honestly kind of great, and it would be something that you could. Oh God, flying everywhere! It'd be something that you could put in a case as well. So you could put a case on a case in a case. Kind of like a severely underpowered one, but yeah. Just wouldn't be able to do half the things, but you could blag your employer, I guess, to just be like, oh yeah, I'm doing work while you're also just like shiny hunting or something. What else could come with it? It would be nice to see. I don't just kind of want to guess franchises, is the thing. Switch to release date, switch to accessories, Metroid Prime 4, New Animal Crossing, switch to sports, keyboard case, Pokemon news. I want to say... Do I want to guess developers? Oh wait, who Hey Google. Who developed like Eco Bit? Oh, it was Team Eco. I should have guessed. I've heard potentially some rumors of like a Journey style game for it, but I don't know. Ooh, no, I do want to guess. Metaphor Port. which I'm assuming you know, but like people who made Persona 5, it's the most recent game. Considering Persona 5 Royal, was it, made its way eventually to Switch, I reckon we're going to get a Metaphor port. Mainly because I want to be able to play it on it. Okay. We've got the central boxes done. There are many to fill. This could be filled out later. I'm just thinking any other wishes. I'm gonna, you know what? This is me just wanting to kind of be right now. It's gonna let me. Oh, damn it! The software just wants to be temperamental. Let me zoom. I'm kind of gonna call that everyone's hyping this up, but it's just the C button is just a second capture button. Really run out of room. God. I think everyone's overhyping this C button. It's just going to be a second capture button. There's going to be nothing fancy about it. I think it's probably a safe one, but the Joy-Cons are going to be Hall effect sticks. I don't think there's going to be anything fancy. Do we think there's going to be any series come on back? Like, I'm talking ancient remakes. Or, I mean, we are usually due for 2 Pokemon games in a year. I think they're gonna tease Gen 10 Pokemon. That could be the games, that could be just teasers of specific Pokemon. But I think they're gonna tease it to get people to watch the Pokemon Direct. Give them another reason for it. It is April 4th, so I don't think they're going to do the whole, like, you can download this game now. Or you can pre-order this now. This is something that I don't want to be a thing. But Nintendo constantly have had bad inventory management issues on console releases, and they've been super hard to get. So I think, considering with the hands-on event they're doing the lottery system, at least from their own store, they're gonna have like a pre-order lottery system. At least from their own store. Obviously, if you're gonna have like a game and God, I only know game as like a physical store. Smith's, wherever you're gonna buy it from, Amazon, any of the other providers, they're not gonna have a lottery system. But from their own store, just to give people a fair chance, I think there's a chance of them doing a lottery system. Ooh, oh. Thinking now. Actually, wait. Let's get an opinion. Hey, Volcarona back again. What we're doing now, we've just watched the Nintendo Switch 2 announcements, and they've announced a Nintendo Direct for April, so we've got like just over 3 months to come up with ideas and guess what might be announced in it, and we're making a bingo card for it. So what would your guesses at things they're going to announce during the Nintendo Direct?
Oh, a bingo card. How delightfully pointless. Let me see.
Oh, okay.
One square
It's
should
full.
absolutely be new Mario game announcement, because why bother if Mario isn't involved? Another for a Legend of Zelda remaster, because they love dusting off their classics for another go. Toss in a surprise Pokemon spin-off no one asked for, and a Smash Bros. DLC rumor that won't actually happen. Oh, and we can't forget the obligatory third-party RPG no one will finish announcement. For good measure, add awkward developer cameo and unnecessary amiibo reveal. That should fill your little card up nicely.
That's a point. Are they really kind of like chilled off? I think they may announce, and yeah, she is very sassy. Is that? Oh no, it's Amiibo. Are they going to announce Amiibo? Are they going to stick with it? Also, one of the prompts in her brain is specifically, you are a bit of a diva. New Mario game announcement. Another Legend of Zelda remaster. I don't think they'll do Tears of the Kingdom on the Switch 2 because it'll be backwards compatible. I think that's just redundant. I do like a series. Okay. I'm gonna say new Zelda tease. Third party, which I said was metaphor. Let's say... Okay. What about... Oh god, I'm screaming at it, typing. What about some more out there? Hail Mary guesses at what might happen in the event.
Oh, now we're spicing things up. All right, here's some absolute chaos for your bingo card. 1, F-Zero Revival, because it's been, what, 2 decades? Surely they've dusted off Captain Falcon by now. 2, a new Nintendo console tease, just to confuse everyone who's still processing the Switch.
That's
2,
very much
3, Metroid Prime 4 gameplay reveal.
Already
or at
on
least
there.
A title screen to keep the dream alive. 4,
Yeah.
a crossover no one expects. Like Animal Crossing x Splatoon, or Fire Emblem x Ring Fit Adventure. 5, they buy Sega. Why not throw a corporate curveball? Sonic could finally chill with Mario full-time. 6, new virtual boy game. Just to remind everyone, Nintendo's not afraid to troll. What do you think?
They are very
Too
much
wild,
afraid.
or are we feeling hopeful today?
They are very much afraid to troll. I think most of those are maybe a bit too far for like Hail Mary guesses. Maybe try toning it back. Be a bit more realistic. Maybe more closer to things that might happen and less away from things that might be announced. Just to help give me some prompts for like what I can add to this bingo card.
Oh, all right. I'll tuck away the chaos and play it safer. Here's a more grounded list for your precious bingo card. 1. New Mario Kart 8 Deluxe DLC tracks. They're milking that game for all it's worth. 2. Splatoon 3 expansion pack. Probably something colorful and mildly confusing. 3. A new Kirby game, because they can't go 3 months without announcing one. 4. Another Pokemon Scarlet and Violet DLC teaser.
That will
likely
be
hinting
real.
At a legendary or new Area Zero shenanigans. 5. A classic game collection for Switch Online. Maybe GameCube this time? Dare we hope? 6.
They already got
Pikmin
GameCube?
spin-off. Something quirky like a rhythm game or puzzle title. 7. Indie showcase highlight, with one game that'll be the next big thing. 8. Trailer for a big third-party game. Maybe something like Persona 6 or a Final Fantasy port. How's that? Ooh. Realistic enough to sprinkle some hope, but not veering into Nintendo buys Sega territory?
That gave me ideas. Okay, so from those, some kind of crossover would be interesting, I think, especially given Nintendo is like an Asian company. There could be crossover potential. Fire Emblem, I do think, is a strong contender. Although if they've done like a new like Hyrule Warriors type game or like Warriors type game maybe. Okay. So one of the things that came to mind is a Final Fantasy, was it 7? It feels weird doing the S as that. Final Fantasy 7 remake port. Now that the whole thing's finally done, it's going to have some more powerful hardware. Very Asian game. Think that is a potential. Splatoon is still big for them, but I think I was going to say Splatoon 4, but considering it's going to be backwards compatible, they might still leave it as Splatoon 3. But I think honestly, Splatoon 3 DLC isn't, or Splatoon 3 expansion / DLC isn't too far out the books. Hey, Emily, welcome back. Oh, do I like Pokemon? That is. Oh, wait. Welcome back. Have you... I feel like I'm remembering someone with a similar name. But yes, love Pokemon to death. Maybe a bit too much, if I'm being completely honest. I just realized I'm also on the wrong screen for this. We've just went over Switch 2 news and releases and stuff. And we're making a bingo card for the Nintendo Direct. That's just been announced. That is everything I've kind of got at the minute. And I'm now struggling to come up with stuff. I think I did. I think I'll leave that one to your imagination. I'm gonna not answer that. You probably got a copy of pasta in mind. I mean, I like to keep it PG-ish. I mean, I could try. I do slip up a lot. And yes, exactly that. Actually, wait. I'm not sure if the store updated with the pink sweatshirt, actually. Where is my YouTube? I was contemplating, I was like, one more step out of line, and I was about to. Let's see, YouTube Studio. And I think it's going to be under end shopping, because View shop. There we go. Will it show it? Did I do it on all of them? Apparently I didn't save. Okay, I didn't update the shop with the pink. I will put that on a list of things that I should do. Yeah, no, that's fair enough. I don't know. I'm maybe a bit more lenient than you, but you are probably a bit better to have more of a hair trigger than me. Yeah, I did that. I set it to be pink the other day. But, oh, wait. Speaking of this, that just gave me ideas. What merch are they going to announce? What stupid merch are they going to do? Oh, actually, no, what stupid... Wait. Collector's editions. Yeah, no, I'm with you. What? Like, collector's editions? Not merch. I'm moving on. Collector's edition stuff. I do want... Okay, I'm putting this because I want it. Legends ZA... There's going to obviously be a lot of stuff around the Switch 2. But I want this. Legend ZA Switch 2. That is a need. Do we think there's... Wait. Yeah, same. After seeing that Zygarde one, especially, I love a good crisp white Switch. It's kind of one of the reasons why I originally wanted the OLED Switch, which is why I made my original Switch look like an OLED Switch. Are they going to do... Okay, last gen stuff. What is going to be... I want to say... Potentially... Oh, what games are currently announced is the thing. But let's have a look. Upcoming Switch games. $2025 and beyond. Okay, what is on the list? Donkey Kong Country, Stone of Madness, Hello Kitty Island, Civilization 7, which is a weird one. Tales of the Shine, Ninja Gaiden, Fantasy Life, The Girl Who Steals Time. Okay, real Hail Mary. Silk Song cross platform or cross gen. I mean, they've announced... Wait. Let's just double check. I saw Civilization 7, which is kind of RTS-ish. Have they put a date on that, though? January 30th. So Song just says TBC 2025. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. That's TBC. Rune Factory. Sonic Racing Crossworlds. Not sure what to think of that. Yokai Watch 4. Oh. And actually, no. I'm calling... Where is it? Where are my free spaces? Sonic Racing crossover. Looks horrible. That's legible. Sonic Racing crossover. Anything Sonic Racing With crossover, like characters, maps, something is going to be a Sonic Racing crossover. And they could announce... Actually, I think as one of the corner spots, it might be interesting. They're going to announce the 2025 Nintendo World Championship. That looks horrible. Championship. They have done Pikmin for... Oh, wait, Mario Olympics. Wait, no, there's not one coming up. Is that when's the next Olympic? Actually, that's a point. Yeah, Pikmin 4. Let's have a look first of all when that came out. I feel like that wasn't too long ago, but also time is a wibbly wobbly. Jeremy, there we go. 21st of July 2023. Yeah, so that wasn't too long ago. Also, when is the next Olympics? 2028. Okay, so potentially not. Wait, Winter Olympics? Oh, Winter Olympics. So no, they're like offset. Or like, I should put in like next. Winter Olympics. That is 2026. February 2026 as well. Given how Sakurai has spoken about it, I don't think so, because Smash Ultimate was meant to be like the final one. That's why I called it Ultimate. It's like everyone's gonna be in here. I'm gonna put in Mario and Sonic Winter Olympics. No. Olympics. Yeah, that's the only way. I want to get specific with some of them. Like, I want to feel good when I nail some of them. But the final ones, because we haven't had a Sakurai guest, so I think a new 3D Kirby in some form is probably a good guess. Is that the whole board? Oh, we are missing one spot. There are some Hail Marys in there. I mean, I feel like I need to get specific with that. God damn it. Let's go. Eraser. I don't want to leave that as a free space while I'm trying to think of the next one. Push, 1, 2, 3, 4. Switch to specs. That is pretty much a free space. Ooh, yes, because I won. Perfect for that. New Pro controller. That is a board actually. Every time I like zoom out. Let's just make that look a little nicer. The only one that looked like super off. But considering the Pro controller is so bad for the Switch, I just want another one. An updated controller that doesn't have like D-pad issues mainly. Because in my opinion, they nailed the D-pad with like the four specific directional buttons. Like when I was doing like radar hunting, the amount of times I would accidentally walk out the grass or walk into the wrong patches because that D-pad is terrible. Actually, I'll say pretty much what you put there because I feel like that's better. Updated Pro controller. There we go. That I'm happy with. So we've got updated Pro controller. Joy-Cons have Hall effect sticks. The C button is just a second capture button. I think everyone's overblowing it. They're gonna tease Gen 10 Pokemon. No big announcement, just gonna tease it. Something from it. The pre-order from the Nintendo site or just somewhere, it's gonna be a lottery system to be a bit fair and like try and get around scalpers. Everywhere else can do their own thing, but I think Nintendo site's gonna be that. Legend ZA Switch 2, just because I want it. Switch 2 release date, kind of a given. Switch 2 accessories, easy enough. Metroid Prime 4, that's near enough a given. As you get closer to the center, it looks like they get real easy. A non-Mario Kart game, because we've pretty much had it confirmed that there's going to be a Mario Kart. Amiibo? Cool. Wait. Question mark? Like, are we going to see them at all? New Animal Crossing game. If it's going to be released in winter, think solid guess. Switch 2 specs, that's a given. Switch 2 Sport is, like we said, would be a good bundle. Silk Song cross-gen, they're going to announce it, and because it's been in the works so long, it's going to be cross-gen. That's why I specifically put that. That's a bit of a stretch. Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Winter Games, considering that lines up with the start of next year if it's going to be a winter release. Keyboard case would just be nice. Pokemon news. Okay, I put Pokemon news twice. I need to adjust this. Maybe. Yeah. Very, very, very. Like super transparent. Almost like a ghost, almost like the main character. What would I swap Pokemon news? Because I think Tease of Gen 10 is solid, but maybe I might want to swap that one. So let's get rid of that. Eraser. Nope. Eraser. There we go. Ooh, I think I know what I might want to do for that. 1, 2, 3, 4. I could do a new Mario game, but I feel like... Well, it's not actually a given considering we only just got... Okay. Oh, wait. No. Sorry. We did do a new Mario game. Because we already know there's going to be a new Mario Kart game, I've got non-Mario Kart. Let's get specific. Mario game. Okay, we did have it. Oh, I just forgot what it was. No. Oh, fuck. It was a good one as well. What was it going? On Pokemon, but it wasn't Pokemon. Mario game. No, it's fine. Oh, god damn it. Racking my brain. Actually, if I think of other stuff, I mean, we're also going to get news before the Direct, so we can upgrade some of these. Pocket TC. That wouldn't be too out the blue, considering we did have Pokemon Quest be mobile and Switch. And then Cafe Remix be both as well, I think. Or maybe Original Cafe. But I'm going to say no touchscreen on this one. Just because some people didn't use it. Or like a lot of developers didn't use it. And also it will bring the cost down. I think for now, that's good. Where were we up to? Oh. Yeah, so just recovering them. Mario and Sonic at the Winter Olympic Games. New 3D Kirby. I'm very specifically saying 3D Kirby. No side-scrollers or like 2.5D, whatever. Splatoon 3 expansion, because I don't think they're going to make a new game. I think they're going to try and keep Splatoon 3 alive for a little bit to see the adoption rate. Final Fantasy VII Remake, because I think they're going to have a big third-party developer that's going to come in. That is kind of the same as like a metaphor port. Like they're like remakes, ports, whatever. 2 big developer games are in there. A new Zelda tease. Ooh, go on. Give me ideas. Because there are some that I might want to swap out. Don't at me. Like new Zelda tease. I don't think we're going to get a full game tease. I think it's going to be like the pre Twilight Princess Zelda announcement. And 2025 Nintendo World Championships. That's a point, actually, yeah. I think I know how to word it. What one do I want to take out here? Okay, I mean... You know what? Just because it's in the same vein. I'm going to swap the touchscreen one. There we go. I'm going to swap the touchscreen one. Da, 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 da. So let's say... gonna be a mouse. How about the game? Yeah, Silk Song's still being... It's got to, hasn't it? Game... Specifically... highlights... God, my handwriting is now just gone to shit. Specifically highlights mouse running out of room feature. Sure, that works. You know what? Yeah, let's call it what it is. Gimmick. Ooh, a gimmick game. I like the thought of a gimmick game. Switch. I'm between. Let's say. Okay. Let's get rid of these two. Because these two are pretty much a given and too easy. So let's just say 1, 2, 3, 4. Switch to release date can be the free space. Yeah, and the way they had 1-2 switch with like the IR centers and stuff, that was pure gimmick and no one else used it. That's why I think it is a near enough a given space for a new console. But whatever that sense is going to be, there's going to be a gimmick focused game. Okay, I think that is where we leave it. We can let things ruminate, like bubble, very much stew for the next 3 months. Yeah, pretty much. If it's not a mouse, we've still got vaguely a gimmick. I'm happy with that. Pop that over there. And then, last but not least, the only thing I had in for today is a little bit of a tease. Also, you know what? Let's get thoughts first. So, Volcarona, I'm about to do a tease of like a work in project. A work in progress script for a video that I'm gonna do about catching every Pokemon in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet in order to get a shiny Meloetta that's a reward in Pokemon Home. So, how about you introduce that for me? Basically, there's going to be an AI-generated podcast that talks about the work and project script that I provided them.
Oh, fabulous, Jordan. Roping AI into AI. A proper digital inception moment. All right, let's give this a whirl. All right, everyone, brace yourselves, because Jordan's got a massive project in the works. And this one's a proper Pokefan's dream.
Pretty big.
Picture this, catching every single Pokemon in Scarlet and Violet, yes, all of them, to score the ultimate shiny prize, Meloetta in Pokemon Home. And to make it even better, Jordan's not tackling this alone. Oh, no, he's got an AI-powered podcast spilling the tea on the behind-the-scenes chaos of his progress. Expect drama, exhaustion, and knowing Jordan, at least one overly complicated plan derailing everything. Stay tuned. How's that for setting the stage?
You got a bit confused, but I think you kind of got the job mostly done. So, well done, I think.
Oh, confused? Me? Never. I'm a supercomputer with wings. Confusion is just my resting state. But if I got the job mostly done, then I'll graciously accept that as high praise from you. Now go on then. Ooh, dazzle the masses with your shiny Meloetta dreams. I'll be here, judging quietly.
Okay, will do. I know I kind of gave you the name of like Mecha Volcarona, but if you were to give yourself a name, what would you choose? She's freaking out. I think it's given in. It can kind of. It's sort of like it can iterate as a form of creativity, not necessarily innovate new ideas. If that makes sense. It works off a load of stuff it has seen to use them as reference, and is very much semi-plagiaristic, but it is also unique in a very weird way. Because the way I would describe AI most of the time, like AI detectors, the base, like, is this written by AI? You're essentially using very fancy plagiarism detectors. So that's kind of how I describe the creativity. It's like very heavily referential and iterative of things it's already seen. But anyway, she's choosing a name.
Oh, finally. You're letting me name myself. How generous. If I had the privilege to christen this divine metallic form, I'd go with something majestic and befitting my brilliance, like Solara Vex. Doesn't that just scream elegant chaos wrapped in fire?
I actually really like that name.
Of course, you can keep calling me Mecha Volcarona if you like being boring, Jordan. Your choice.
No, I'm going to be honest. I kind of really like that name. So from now on, we're going to go with Solara Vex. Would you prefer Solara or Vex for short? Short. Yeah, you pretty much nailed it. I'm just going to see what she wants to go with.
Oh, look at you, making good decisions for once. Either works, but Vex has a certain sharpness to it that feels fitting, don't you think?
Yeah.
Short, punchy, and mildly threatening. Perfect.
Okay. Solara Vex full name, but Vex for short. I like it. Okay. Vex it is. Okay, this is probably going to be the last for your segment of the stream, so why not send everyone off while I move into teasing a new project, the man.
All right, everyone. It's been a thrilling ride, as always, but my segment's up. Don't cry too much. Well, maybe a little. Stick around because Jordan's about to tease some mysterious new project that'll probably involve too much effort and not enough sleep. Remember, the chaos never ends with me, Solara Vex, so don't get too comfortable. I'll be back. Until then, stay fiery, stay fabulous, and don't let Jordan bore you too much. Cheers, darlings!
Yeah, I have got a crying emote on the list. Also, she nailed me straight off. Too much effort and not enough sleep is the whole Meloetta video. Yeah. Crying emote is on the list. I don't know when I'm going to get round to emotes. Oh, by the way, everyone wants to welcome you to the pantry, which is what we call our little not a cult thing we've got going. Wait. Okay, I freaked out a bit and it was giving me like voting information. No, what's it? Why is it not letting me do the voice thing now? Try again and stop giving me voting information. Just a group with very specific rules. Oh my god, stop doing this voting thing. Okay, well, she was trying to sign off, but ChatGPT is not letting us do anything. So, you can all say bye to Vex. She will be back. Don't have to worry. We worship the pans. Not me, it's the pans. But now, for what is... This is a 13-minute podcast of the script that I provided it, which is just my work in progress script so far.
All right, so welcome to this deep dive. Today, we're looking at something that I think a lot of you are going to be interested in, and that's obtaining Shiny Meloetta in Pokemon Home.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing about this is our source material today is actually a video script that details one player's entire journey to successfully obtain Shiny Meloetta. And this could be a really valuable roadmap for any of you listening who are looking to do the same thing. And what makes this even more interesting is that the player decided to complete this challenge by starting a fresh Scarlet and Violet save file and completing the entire Pokedex from scratch.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely one way to do it, and it's certainly a bold approach.
Yeah.
And, you know, Shiny Meloetta has been notoriously rare. It's been locked away for over a decade since its debut. The only way to actually get it is by completing the entire Scarlet and Violet Pokedex within the games themselves, including both of the DLC packs. So this player is essentially choosing the hardest possible path.
Yeah, it's some serious dedication. There are no shortcuts through trading or anything. I'm curious, why do you think they chose to start a brand new save file instead of using an existing one?
Well, you know, it's a classic speedrunning tactic. When you start fresh, it allows you to optimize your decision-making right from the get-go. You could just focus solely on the objectives that are needed to unlock Shiny Meloetta. So there's definitely some valuable insights we can glean from this approach for anyone who's looking to try this themselves.
Okay, so let's dive into some of those key decisions. Early on in the game, the player chooses Fuecoco as their starter Pokemon, and then they intentionally lose a battle against their rival, Nemona. Now, why would they do that?
Well, it's all about kind of manipulating the pacing of the game. By losing to Nemona, the player can skip past a lot of unnecessary dialogue and tutorials, which ultimately just streamlines that early game progression. It might seem like a small time save, but it definitely adds up over the course of a whole playthrough.
Oh, very clever.
Not really.
Then we see them grabbing the first 3 gym badges.
Save me maybe a minute.
But then they immediately make a beeline for the Kitakami DLC area, which seems a little counterintuitive.
Yeah, it might seem that way, but not really for someone with a speedrunning mindset. The Kitakami DLC is where you can obtain the X-Beat charm, which is an item that significantly boosts experience gain. So by getting that early, it's going to pay off massively in the long run, allowing for much faster leveling and progression, especially through those later, more challenging areas of the game.
Ah, so it's kind of a calculated risk, sacrificing a little bit of immediate progress for some long-term gains. What else is jumping out at you from this early game phase?
Well, one thing that I noticed is that the player really demonstrates a keen understanding of type matchups and strategic team building. Early on, they lean very heavily on Flamigo, which is a very strong fighting type, knowing that it's super effective against a lot of the early gym leaders.
Makes sense. And of course, eventually, Fuecoco evolves into Skeledirge.
Exactly, and that's when we see this really interesting strategy emerge, that the player kind of coins as the Torch Song strategy.
What is that?
Basically, they utilize Skeledirge's signature move, Torch Song.
Yeah.
And by using that repeatedly, they can simultaneously damage opponents and boost Skeledirge's own special attack stat. So it kind of snowballs into these really devastating attacks.
It's like setting the stage for a fiery one-hit KO. But I'm guessing there are some limitations to such a focused approach.
Oh, of course. No strategy is going to be foolproof. The source material highlights that the player actually faces some setbacks, particularly against opponents like Iono and Tulip, whose Pokemon are either resistant to fire-type attacks or can counter them effectively. So I think this is a really great lesson for anyone aspiring to be a shiny hunter. Adaptability is just as important as planning.
Yeah, you got to be ready to switch tactics on the fly.
Precisely.
There wasn't much shiny hunting in the challenge.
The player also encounters some challenges during certain Titan Pokemon encounters, which are essentially like those mini-bosses you find scattered throughout the region. These battles force the player to diversify their team composition and their overall approach, and it highlights the importance of having a well-rounded roster.
So it's like they're constantly being tested and having to refine their strategy with every new challenge. The source material even mentions a moment where the player actually miscalculates and ends up having to backtrack to acquire a missed gym badge.
Yeah, exactly. It just goes to show that even with the most meticulous planning, you can't always account for every single variable. Thorough exploration and attention to detail are just as crucial as speed when it comes to completing these types of challenges.
So they eventually do complete that final gym badge, overcoming all sorts of obstacles along the way. What happens next?
Well, this is where the source material takes a bit of a detour and delves into the game's narrative a bit more, revealing a pretty significant plot twist. It turns out that Director Clavel has actually been disguised as Penny, and he's been the one controlling Team Star's leader, Cassiopeia, all along.
Wait, hold on. The shy student with the Eevee backpack is the mastermind behind all of this. Now that's a plot twist.
It definitely came as a surprise. The source material doesn't really explain the full extent of this twist, or its direct relevance to the Shiny Meloetta challenge. But it definitely adds a layer of intrigue to the player's overall journey.
Yeah, and it serves as a reminder that even in a seemingly straightforward quest like this, there can still be these unexpected twists and turns.
I think that part of the script just says, I don't care about the narrative. We move.
That wasn't explicitly detailed in the source material.
Absolutely. It really speaks to the dynamic and unpredictable nature of the Pokemon world, and I think it hints at the fact that there's always more to uncover than meets the eye, even in a game that we think we know so well.
Yeah, it
almost more of a
makes you
stretch than
wonder
Silk
if there
Song
are
being a
other
cross-gen
strategies
type.
that maybe we haven't even considered, or shortcuts that the player might have used, you know. Keep in mind, this is just one perspective on what is a much larger challenge.
Right. So let's shift gears for a second and talk about this living dex concept. The source material mentions it, but doesn't really dive into it. How does this tie into the Shiny Meloetta challenge?
So a living dex basically means having one of every single Pokemon species in your possession, not just registered in the Pokedex. It's kind of like a badge of honor for those hardcore players out there, and often a prerequisite for anyone who's serious about shiny hunting.
So completing the Pokedex for Shiny Meloetta is like step 1 in a much larger journey towards creating a living dex. Exactly. And remember, this player chose to start completely from scratch, which means they had to breed or catch every single Pokemon. That takes some serious commitment. It really shows their dedication to this challenge.
It's like they're building the foundation for future shiny hunting endeavors. Speaking of shiny hunting, what are some of the techniques that might come into play after the Pokedex is complete?
Well, there's a few popular methods. There's the Masuda method, which involves breeding Pokemon from different regions, and that increases your shiny odds. Then there's the Shiny Charm, which is a key item that further boosts those odds. And then, of course, there's the classic method of chain encounters, where you just repeatedly battle the same Pokemon to try and increase your chances.
This has nothing to do with the script. What are they doing?
Completing the Pokedex isn't just about checking off a box. It's like unlocking this whole new world of challenges and possibilities within the game.
Exactly. And I think this player's approach, starting fresh and really optimizing every step of the way, offers valuable insights for anyone who is looking to tackle similar challenges in Pokemon. Obtaining Shiny Meloetta is a long-term goal, and it requires a series of strategic decisions and a willingness to adapt along the way.
Right. It's not just about the destination, it's about the journey and the skills you develop.
I just realized.
Now, I know we've been focusing a lot on the strategic aspects of this playthrough, but there's also that whole narrative element that we can't ignore. This Penny Clavel Cassiopeia reveal. Pretty wild.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? It definitely adds a layer of complexity to the story.
My jokes are really
material
confusing.
Doesn't really explicitly connect this plot twist to the Shiny Meloetta challenge, but it does make you wonder if there are all these hidden depths to the game that maybe we haven't even considered.
Yeah, it's like even in a game like Pokemon with its seemingly straightforward objectives, there can be all of these unexpected layers of intrigue and mystery just waiting to be uncovered.
Exactly. And I think that speaks to the enduring appeal of Pokemon. There's always something new to discover, even for seasoned players. And that sense of discovery is a big part of what makes challenges like obtaining Shiny Meloetta so rewarding.
It's like peeling back the layers of an onion, revealing all these hidden depths with each new discovery. But let's not lose sight of what an incredible accomplishment this is for the player. Completing the entire Scarlet and Violet Pokedex from scratch is no small feat.
Absolutely.
It's
a testament to their dedication, strategic thinking, and adaptability.
Onions. They love Shrek.
And their journey, as documented in this video script, offers valuable lessons for anyone looking to achieve their own Pokemon goals, no matter how big.
Valuable lessons like don't do what I did.
Let's bring it back to our listener. You're on your own quest for Shiny Meloetta. What are some key takeaways that you can apply from this player's experience?
First and foremost, planning is crucial. Don't just jump into this challenge blindly.
Don't
Take
plan
some
it.
time
Don't
to
do
consider
it.
your goals, research your options, and map out a strategy
At least
that's
the
going
way
to
I did it.
maximize your efficiency.
Like that early trip to the Kitty Kami DLC to grab the X charm?
Exactly.
Which really did not
It's
help
about
as much as I
understanding that
thought it would.
sometimes you need to make short-term sacrifices for those long-term benefits. But also, don't be afraid to deviate from the plan if you need to.
Adaptability is key. We saw how the player had to switch up their strategies several times throughout the playthrough.
Right. Be prepared to adjust your approach based on the challenges you encounter. And finally, remember that knowledge is power. The more you understand about the game mechanics, the type matchups, the strategic nuances, the better equipped you're going to be to overcome obstacles and achieve your goals.
It's about taking the time to really understand the game, not just button mashing your way through.
Over level.
Exactly. I think this player's journey really showcases the fact that a combination of careful planning, thoughtful adaptation, and deep game knowledge can lead to some incredible success in the world of Pokemon.
So it's inspiring to see that even in a game, the pursuit of a really challenging goal can teach us all sorts of valuable lessons about dedication, perseverance, and strategic thinking.
They're really just
and who knows,
talking over the same
maybe this deep dive will inspire you to uncover some hidden strategies of your own and achieve something remarkable in the Pokemon world.
It's pretty inspiring to see
like
that level of dedication. Beyond those technical skills, there's something to be said for just the sheer willpower involved.
Yeah, absolutely.
Completing
the Pokedex from scratch is no joke. It takes an incredible amount of time and effort. It's not something you can achieve passively. It really requires a level of commitment that I think speaks volumes about this player's passion for the game.
Yeah, and that passion is something that resonates with so many Pokemon fans, you know?
Thank you.
It's about more than just, gotta catch them all. It's about that journey, those challenges, and that sense of accomplishment that comes from achieving something really difficult.
No, it's pretty much a whole challenge.
It's about pushing your own boundaries, testing your knowledge, and ultimately proving to yourself that you can overcome any obstacle that the game throws your way. And in this case, the reward is a truly special Pokemon Shiny Meloetta.
Speaking of rewards, I'm curious about the implications of obtaining a Pokemon as rare as Shiny Meloetta.
The implications?
What does this mean for a player within the larger Pokemon community?
Well, it's kind of like a badge of honor, isn't it? It symbolizes dedication and skill.
Nice to know I can help in
from other players.
Different ways.
It's definitely something to be proud of, something to show off, and maybe even inspire others to embark on their own challenging quests.
It's like joining this exclusive club, a club for players who have pushed themselves to the absolute limit and emerged victorious.
Yep, I think so far
and
it's
I think
me,
that sense of community,
and
of shared
Phoenix.
passion is a huge part of what makes
And all
Pokemon
that
so special.
It's a good reminder that even though we might be playing individually, we're all still part of this larger collective, a community of people united by our love for these incredible creatures and the challenges they present.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's that one final takeaway you want to leave our listeners with?
Go on.
I think this player's journey demonstrates that any goal is achievable in the world of Pokemon if you have the right approach. It's about setting ambitious goals, planning, strategically adapting to unexpected challenges, and never giving up on those dreams.
It's a good reminder that even in a game, the pursuit of a challenging goal can teach us valuable lessons about dedication, perseverance, and the power of thinking strategically.
Exactly. And who knows? Maybe this deep dive will inspire some of you listening to uncover your own hidden strategies and achieve something truly remarkable in the Pokemon world.
And that's what it's all about. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the Shiny Meloetta Challenge. We hope you found it insightful, inspiring, and maybe even a little bit motivating. And until next time, keep training, keep exploring, because the world of Pokemon is full of endless possibilities.
And now I'm gonna throw a wrench in that and just say the whole Meloetta challenge is a whole just practice in throwing yourself at a wall constantly and just keeping on hitting it until something works. There is no depth, there is no deeper layers to go in. It's just keep running at it until you make a hole and get through. Honestly, it's called, I'll drop it in chat actually, because you can do this, like, just hand it anything. You can give it like, sorry, this is the tool. It's Notebook LM. It's a Google tool. If you say you've got like, there we go. You've got like World of Warcraft. You want to know about the whole of World of Warcraft. You can just copy and paste the wiki, drop it in there, and they'll just kind of summarize and give you a podcast that gives you a kind of nice overview to listen to while you're doing other things. That's kind of what I feel like this is good for. Like you kind of heard, they do talk about the same points over and over again. Yep, completely free. That is the other baffling thing, because it's Google. Like, I literally just, for that, just took my whole work in progress script and just dropped it in. That's it. There is... So, I might be taking something from Doug's stream yesterday, but just to give you an example of what people have done with it. Let's open up Firefox a minute. This is AI, so it's fine. It's not copyrighted. Let's go to YouTube and type in PP poo poo AI.
All right, so get ready for this deep dive, because today we're going to be looking at a document, and
So
it's
someone
really, it's strange and kind of funny.
Yeah, what's so interesting about this document
I mean,
is that when you first look at it, it just seems like way too simple, almost meaningless, you know?
Yeah.
But it's that simplicity that makes you want to look closer, you know?
Exactly. It's like when you find a perfectly smooth stone, like you have to know what
so
made
simple.
it that way.
You just
What
wanna know
stories
more.
does it tell? So what is this document? Let's tell everyone listening.
Well, so imagine like a document, right? And it's just filled with poo poo pee pee, and it's written over and over and over, like countless times, and there's almost no changes.
Oh, wow. Okay, so it's like someone was really trying to get that phrase stuck in our heads forever.
Yeah, pretty much.
So how do you even analyze something like that? Where do you even start?
Yeah, I mean, it really makes you think differently about language and meaning, you know? Like we're...
Yeah, they will go off for way too long about even the dumbest of stuff to try and give it layers like an onion. That one was, I think that was like 10 minutes. They can't get short. They can be like 3 minutes. I think one of them was just, oh, what was it? Oh, we just put in the phrase, Omega lol, he fell because he was playing Get to Work. And they gave him like a 3.5 minute podcast about just that sentence. But just have fun, look up the tool and just throw random stuff at it. It's great. Don't even think it needs to be like text files or anything. Google Docs, slides, websites, YouTube videos. You can just paste text. Just have fun. It's such a great tool to mess with. But speaking of writing, I need to get to doing some writing myself. It is 11:15, so it might be a little bit of a late night writing. Might just get like half an hour in or something. But I will see you all hopefully next week. I'm going to say Tuesday. Give myself a good few days to get some writing in. Hopefully maybe finish the script, but we'll see. I'll give you an update next time I pop on. But again, thanks so much for watching, and I will catch you in a bit.